Well, hello world. Welcome to the Science Fiction Podcast brought to you by SPIROPICTURES.com. This is for the community of people who are writing science fiction, stories, novels, filmmakers, musicians, and artists of all kinds. The purpose is for the exploration of the creative process of human experiences via science theory, which is real science, and science fiction. Tonight, we are broadcasting from the Elonian Communication Outpost, planet Earth. The geolocation is 39.7411 north latitude and 104.9842 west longitude. That's Denver, Colorado. And I'm Jane Darling, your hostess for the evening. If you're creative and curious, stick around. We'll have something that will hold your interest.
2, 1, 0, and lift off.
We have in the studio Eva Geisness, owner of Luren Events. That's Luren events.com. Luren is an event planning service based in Colorado, specializing in taking care of client needs, weddings, and events. Their mission is to create beautiful, your kind of events, the ones you've always imagined, and bring those to life. Also, Eva is an independent filmmaker, and Eva has participated in many film festivals as a participant and as a judge. She has judged over 700 films, mostly shorts, many features, and she has judged literally all genres. We're going to talk about that tonight, the process and what judges look for, how to get your film noticed by film festival judges. Welcome, Eva, and thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. I'm super excited to be here. I would say, probably 800 to 1,000. It's been, depending on the years and the entries. So some years there's more entries than other years, but yeah, I've done a few films. Just a few. Just kidding.
Well, tonight we want to talk about how to get your movie noticed by judges at film festivals. And both of us, I've judged several hundred of them, but nothing like Eva's been involved in. And we'll go over reasons why it's fun to do that as a filmmaker. I'm a filmmaker. Eva's a filmmaker.
Trying to
be. Well, we're doing it. Stanley Kubrick said the only way to learn to make movies is to go out and make movies. So,
smart man.
Yes, smart man. So one of the reasons you want to be a judge is you get to look at innovative stuff, and you get to look at things that really do get your attention quickly and things that are horrible to do. We've seen everything. So
yeah. Oh no, exactly. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to become a judge with any and every film festival that would take me, because I wanted to see what was out there first and foremost, because I've judged films from all over the world. But just to also see, how people are making them, or the quality of them.
And how they do it.
Because you don't have to rent all this equipment. You can shoot it on your iPhone. You can shoot it on your camcorder.
And people don't know that, because it's not always the technical stuff that we see that's really beautiful in some films. And then, as we will go over, what they are lacking and why your film either doesn't get in or gets panned. And film festivals like having judges. So if you know any local ones, volunteer, because the more judges they have, a lot of film festivals, they won't turn you down. They like it. Maybe Cannes will turn you down, but any of the other ones won't. But the other ones won't. They're looking for judges. They want people to view the films. And every now and then I'll run across a film that's just not my cup of tea, and that's what I'll say. I don't want to judge it because somebody else I know would really like that movie, but not me. And we'll go over that later too. Okay, so I'm going to turn the floor over to Eva to talk for a while about what judges look for, when we're judging movies for film festivals. And we each have our own scoring system. Sometimes they'll give you a scoring system, but every judge has their own scoring system. I'll tell you mine, and Eva will tell you hers. And it's, pretty common stuff.
Well, yeah,
okay,
I was going to say, because every judge has everybody has their own personality and their own thought process with it, and their own, that's why there's multiple judges, because in each category, say it's sci-fi, say it's horror, say it's drama, they have multiple people judging the category because there's preferences. I mean, it's not just the technical aspect of it. It's also like, how did it make you feel? Did it move you in a certain way? Did something stand out that you really remember from it? So it's good that they have such a diverse group of people across the board to judge the films. With me personally, we're given, when we're judged, we're given, obviously director, screenwriting, acting, audio, music, pacing. We're given the categories that we have to judge, and that is, to me, really important because, the pacing is going to give you the feel of the film. So editing is going to give you maybe a moment that you'll take away. But as far as all the other categories, like writing is huge to me.
Well, that's under our what are the top 3 things judges will look for starters?
Personally, I don't know all judges, so I can only tell you what I'm looking
you've done
for.
So many.
So writing is huge. So the story is huge because I've seen so many magnificent films. The cinematography, the editing, the technical stuff, the audio is amazing, but the story is so bad, which then reflects on the acting, which then reflects on the director, which then reflects on that part of it. So to me, judging, technically you might have a guy who's really good at camera work, so the cinematography is going to be amazing.
I've seen a lot of movies like that, and they're just wonderful, and you're shaking your head when you're watching how bad the story is.
Because you're just like, oh my gosh, that's a great shot, that's a great shot, those are great.
Edited, the music, the score.
Everything,
and
the fades, the transitions.
Yeah, all the time and money that they put into that.
Yeah, the lighting. I mean, because the lighting is just as important as the audio, which is just as important as the picture, which is just as important as the acting. So it's like, it's a huge, everything really matters. And I think sometimes watching some of these films, personally, again, that they forget about that. So they're so good at one thing, and they think that that's going to carry the film. And it doesn't.
It absolutely doesn't.
So what's important to me, definitely, you asked about top 3 things: the writing, the story, the audio, because I hate when audio goes in and out. I hate when I can tell they dub something over. It's obvious. It's like, why didn't you just fix it? And then also lighting, because that makes a huge difference. So you can have the best story, but if the lighting's awful and the audio's awful, your story gets lost.
It's distracting when you watch the movie. It's very distracting when you watch the movie.
So what would be your 3 things?
Story and script are number 1. And a friend of mine, another judge, claims that he sees a lot of movies. That he sees a lot of movies, and it looks like they wrote one version of the script, maybe 2 at most, and went out and filmed it. And he said they need about 20 more versions to get a really good script. He was serious. I mean, we were laughing, but he was dead serious. He was dead serious.
Yeah, I'm sure, because Patrick is brilliant man, brilliant writer. That I can see that, because I can see just watching some of these films, saying
great
not even
ideas too. Great ideas, great concept. And even any of the films we mentioned tonight, we won't mention them by name.
No,
but we could describe them like. I like to see the movies well made. I think audio gets the short end of the stick a lot of times, and it ruins the film.
Yep.
Either with horrible music, or you can tell someone's using copyrighted music. You can't use popular music. Everyone knows you didn't get the copyright to that, and it's very distracting. People think it's great when you want to use a John Lennon song, but it's not. Don't do that. Get original music. And there's quite a bit of it on the internet, or if you don't like that, get a friend. Everybody knows at least one musician friend that could make some music for you.
Exactly.
And what else? Yeah, story, writing, the acting. Seen some pretty bad acting, and I realize as a director how hard that is to do. They make it look easy, but get some decent actors, and what else? I think those are the top. Those are the top things.
I totally agree with the acting thing.
And be original. Don't use cliches. There's some real obvious stuff. When I start to see cliche things in story, I just tune out. I can't stand that. And it's not just a pet peeve. It's like it's been done before. Be original. If you want to get noticed by judges, do something original, present it in an original way, and do a decent quality, version of it.
Right. I mean, we've seen a million sci-fi movies, and there's people that use space and ships and androids. And yeah, that isn't original. But how they present it
The story
or tell
can
the
be.
story can make it more
Yeah.
original, and then it's not as cliche. But yeah, it's tough when somebody just goes out to shoot something. And I understand if you're a beginning filmmaker and you want to shoot something and you want to get it into a festival to see the kind of reaction or response you're going to get from it. And that's great. Well, maybe you show it to your friends, 30 of your friends first before submitting it.
Honest friends who will give you feedback.
Because once you submit this to like film festivals, it's kind of like, to
You're
me,
out there.
Yeah, you're out there, and then it's just kind of like it might not be your best work, and I don't know, personally, I don't want to put something out there that isn't worth people watching.
I agree.
And not that I need their,
approval and
praise.
validation. We don't.
It's just I want them to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Either hate it, love it, but get something from it.
Provoke a reaction
Not like
from it.
the acting sucked or the audio was bad. Because then they don't remember anything about your film anyway. They just remember that stuff. So, but if you enter into a film festival, think about everything. If you're a really good cinematographer, find somebody who's great at audio, find somebody who's great at editing, get a team and let go of the responsibility. Don't feel as though this is my project, I'm doing it all. So I can say I wrote it, I directed it, I edited, I did all these things. Because I've done films like that. I've done my own films where
so
I wrote
have I.
it.
So
Right.
have I.
Where I wrote it, I
Yep.
directed it, I edited it, I did the audio. But I took every piece of it and made sure it was really good. So I didn't shoot it. That's the one thing I didn't do. And I found Patrick to do it, and he's awesome. So it's like I found the right person to shoot it. He took my idea and he set it up exactly how I needed it set up. And as far as that goes, everything else I did. So, except for the camera work. So, and the acting, of course, and stuff.
Good actors.
So, yeah, but it's like you have to have faith in letting some things go and let people who are good at it to do it to make your project even better. And so, and when you sit down and edit, when you sit down and do this, especially with your own film, give it the best TLC you can. Don't just, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And if you hear a line, even in your script, while they're doing it, and it sounds bad, change it. Don't just keep going with it.
And I'd say think of an original way to say that. And just keep going over that script. Have people read it. Have your actors read it. And it'll sound natural or it won't. And...
right, and you'll know right away when they read it how unnatural or how goofy it sounds. But that's, because with film festivals, it's like the Oscars, or it's like any other. They critique on everything: the cinematography, the audio. It's like, think about all of that, and don't just say, "Oh, I wrote a funny script. I have my friends doing it, and now I'm just going to enter it." It's like, well,
and sometimes that works. But a lot of times it doesn't, because we see a lot.
A lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got that percentage of things where it does work. And I've judged films because I like
worldwide too. Like different cultures have different ideas about things
from
too.
India, Japan, England, Australia, all different ideas about the same subjects, but it's shot differently and thought differently. But I like to especially judge young filmmakers.
Yeah. Oh, and I should mention that too. When you're a judge for a film festival, you can select the categories you want to judge. Eva typically judges all categories. So name some of those. What some of those categories are.
Oh, so it's usually like the sci-fi, the dramas, the comedies,
documentaries,
the
webisodes,
shorts, music videos.
Yeah, music videos.
Do it all.
Good too.
And then the young filmmakers, and so there's the long documentaries, short documentaries, features, shorts. So it's basically everything.
Yeah.
But I really like to see the talent, the up and coming talent with young
too.
people.
That's really inspiring to see pretty young people that are still in high school, even junior high, making some really nice stuff, because people that age have a different view of things.
Oh, I've been blown away by 13, 15-year-old kids. Just
the one that was flying through the woods.
Yeah, like somebody just took a drone and flew it through. and it was more of a conceptual thing. It wasn't really narrative or anything.
Yeah.
And so it was beautiful, and they did what they were supposed to do. They did the shots, they did the music, they did the audio, and they edited, and the feel of it, the pacing, everything. So they didn't add any more, they didn't add any less, and they did a great job for being 15. I was like completely blown away, especially when I'm watching features from filmmakers that have been in the industry making films for a long time, and they can't get their audio right, or they can't get the lighting right, or they just edit in a bad shot just because they needed it for the thing, so for the film. But so it's cool to see how creative young people can be. Like I said, especially with iPhones or drones or whatever. I mean,
you can film with those things.
Yeah.
And be really original with them.
Super original.
I had something here in my notes. Some of the stuff that, it's not that it bothers me if people send in stuff last minute, but the problem is you want judges to have the time to watch your stuff. So what I've noticed the last couple of years, we get a lot of people sending in the film, the last day or a couple of days before the cutoff line is. And the problem with that is, I think, is the judges, we get a couple of extra days to watch them, but you're forcing the judges to rush when they watch your stuff. So if you plan on entering it in a film festival, I think sooner is better. What do you think?
Oh yeah,
do you have that problem? I did this time. I do usually horror, sci-fi, experimental genres, sometimes young filmmakers, and I see a lot of that.
Well, all film festivals are different, so their deadlines are different. So you look at specific ones that give you only a few days to shoot, to ones that give you a week to shoot, to ones that give you 2 months to get your film in. Okay. And maybe you shot it 6 months ago, a year ago. But if you decide that's something you want to do, just commit to it and send it in, as what Jane's saying, as soon as possible, instead of just saying, even though you shot the film, like whatever film festival it is, and whatever their rules or regulations or the type of festival it is. Because like I said, some festivals give you 2 days to shoot, they give you 3 days to shoot, they give you a week, they give you
That's true.
3 months.
That's
so
true.
it's all different. So you have to think about that. So if you've got 2 days, we obviously know what that film festival is, but
okay.
So then you've got your crew and you're on it, and that's it. That's your deadline.
That's it.
Done.
Yeah.
But like other festivals where they say the deadline is like a month or so away, send it in earlier, because then people will have the chance to actually look at it and enjoy it, instead of saying, I got to get through this film tonight. And it's not that they're going to judge it any less. They're still going to judge every category for what it is. Yeah. It's just it just makes it a little bit tighter on the festival itself too, and on the people in it, involved in it.
Yeah, and you want your work to be, have consideration, or if somebody wants to watch it again, maybe.
Right.
Or
and you want to make sure it works. There's just so many things. It's not just the judging. You just want to make sure that your format's going to work, that they have it, so they'll upload it.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about
everything.
That.
There's just
sometimes the formats aren't compatible.
Or people just don't put it on the right, they don't download it right or get it right. Yeah. So that's all another issue too. So you got to think about all those things. You want to make sure you're not having to resend them something.
Do you finish every movie? Do you watch every movie to the end?
I watch every movie to the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have, for the several hundred that I've done, there's only been maybe 2 that I had to shut off after 30 minutes because, for all the reasons stated above, I couldn't take it anymore, and I had to shut the movie off. So you don't want to be in that category. So.
And some be in Jane's category.
That's right.
Of shutting it down.
Oh my God! And I think it was the one where high budget movie. Somebody had access to a little village on a coast, and they had a boat. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And it was where you bring a bunch of teenagers there and chop them up. Okay, that's classic horror. And that could have been a good movie. And all it was they go into different buildings. Of course, the lights aren't on. And they go in, and it's creepy, and there's dead meat hanging there, and they still walk in there. That's fine, too. But then it was just chopping up a teenager, and they couldn't even act. So it was a guy with his friends. They spent a lot of money on that movie, and it was a shame. And after 30 minutes, I couldn't take it anymore. So,
Oh, yeah.
But it's good to know that you actually finish every one of those movies.
No, I finish every single one.
Oh, that's good.
Every single one. I watch every single minute. But yeah, it is a shame because, like we've discussed earlier, the film starts out, it's like, wow, these are really great, cinematic shots.
It looks promising.
The music fits, the pacing.
Is that the zombie one in the strip?
In the strip
that one. Okay.
So,
yeah. Okay.
And it's like amazing. So I was like, wait a minute,
halfway decent
this might be a
actors,
really
too.
good film. Like
Yeah.
they shot this person on a bike, and it was great how it was shot, and you're like, okay,
And
wow,
the sound is flawless on that one, too.
I'm actually excited. And then we get to it, and the story is not bad, but it was, to me, it could have been more creative. So it was kind of like,
It was totally predictable.
it was predictable,
Cliche.
and it was just right there. And if that's what they wanted, great. But then they should have hyped the Comedy Central place different, or the scary factor different. I mean, they did.
There was nothing scary about it.
There was nothing scary about it, and they worked really hard on the makeup and the effects.
Yeah.
And again,
Costumes and the place that they shot it in.
the locations. They could have easily
Had an awesome
made it even
movie.
gorier, or they could have made it campy, but they didn't.
And
they
it wasn't. That's true. It was unclear what it was.
It was unclear where they were trying to go.
And there
with
wasn't
it.
a real formed story in there. There wasn't any character development in there. There was none of those things.
And that's what led the actors to be completely flat. Everyone was completely flat, and they all seemed to play the same character, but they were male or female. Like their characters were supposed to be characters.
Yeah, and they weren't. They
weren't.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, okay, they're just saying their lines, okay. And it could have been, for the production value, they should have really focused on the rest of it.
Yeah.
And said, that's not good enough. Cut. We need to really,
I mean, because every time someone stood next to a curtain, here comes a zombie from behind.
Right, and it wasn't even like they were that scared of it.
I know, and it was, yeah.
It
had a lot of potential.
It's
And
like,
there was,
really? This is zombies
and-
in a strip club.
And,
You
and
should
I
be
sat there
afraid.
shaking my head. It's a shame. I actually finished that one to the end because I couldn't believe how awful it was. But and parts of it were funny, and I don't think they intended it to be funny. I'm
That's
not
what
sure.
I'm saying.
I don't know what they intended.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
It
know.
was unclear because they could have taken it so much more
They
in
could have
this
been
direction
good.
or this direction.
They had motorcycles and everything.
It was the production value was
Yeah.
great. They just lost it with the acting and with the directing and with
no
the story.
Story. No character development of any of the characters. I wasn't even sure who the main character was in that movie. Maybe the girl, but I wasn't sure.
Right.
Yeah, the owner.
Well, she was so flat. She was so undimensional. She
Yeah.
was just, you didn't really,
Yeah.
it was like
I
you
don't
reading
know.
the lines.
I don't know. I'm sitting there shaking my head and going, I don't know. So
No, but there's just,
okay.
excuse me.
Now, another thing is you name the categories, which are pretty standard categories, that you give scores on, and then sometimes the film festival will give us kind of their own score sheet, and I'll still do my own score sheet and then put it into their score sheet.
Oh, okay.
Because I put it on an Excel spreadsheet, and I have every category: sound, music, whatever you can possibly think of, acting. And then if it's not applicable, like some shorts, they may not have music or they may not have actors, in the art and experimental, and then I'll just skip those categories, and then give them an overall rating. And that seems to work pretty good. So just think of all those things when you're making your movie.
Yeah,
if you need them.
Movies are they're supposed to be magical. They're supposed to take us away. They're supposed to take us into the story. And it's great to be able to shoot your movie on your iPhone 6 because the quality is amazing. Yeah. And it's fun and you can do things with it. But it's like, don't forget that, make sure the sound is good, or make sure, because you have this great visual, but it really does, it is distracting when I can tell that the audio is too low here, it's too high here, it's been overdubbed, and then they don't even line up the lips, and then I'm like, where are we going?
And also I notice even on my own editing system, when you convert from different formats, which is fine because you might be using stock footage, you might have film from other directors and it's filmed at a different rate, like 24 frames per second or 29.9 or something else. And that's fine. But I did notice you got to pay attention to, when you start mixing those things, that the sound doesn't always line up, and you've kind of got to put some extra work into that.
Yeah, and that
the lips will be off just a little bit. It's very noticeable. Very noticeable.
And so it's like, these are just basic film festivals that I judge, locally. from other states. And like I said, there's been international stuff, there's been local stuff, there's been stuff from other, state places. But you get to see what's out there, and that's what really helped me as a filmmaker,
yes,
because
definitely.
then it really helps me to pay attention to everything that I'm doing. Like I said, when I write, direct, edit, produce everything.
And we do that not because we're narcissists thinking no one else can help us. It's because we're low budget indie.
We're low budget. Low budget rocks.
Indie filmmakers.
No budget is low budget.
No budget. Yeah.
Is low budget. But yeah, I mean, when you have that core group of friends that are so amazing to help you
They are, and they're
all the
talented.
time, and they're super smart and talented, you need to say, hey, you're good at this. I need to let that rein go. And it's okay to say this wasn't done by me because I want it to be right.
Yeah.
But I do learn a lot, and I'm watching these. It's a huge note taking in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me
for
too. Same thing.
my films.
I'll see something really cool that they did, or something really bad that they did that I actually did, and it's like, oh, I gotta go fix that.
Yeah, it's like,
Okay, hold that thought. I am getting a message from our flying robot reporter. I was wondering where he was tonight. Okay, Lazarus, what's up?
We've had a reported UFO sighting, so I must be off. I will update you later. I must meet up with my investigative team. I will check in with you later for more updates.
There you have it, the mysterious disappearance of Lazarus. He's busy. Okay, back to our show.
Now, can you think of one, like any that stand out that you just thought were amazing? Besides the young filmmakers, is there any movies, story or production that really stands out in your head?
Oh gosh, yeah. There was a short film that 3 that still really stand out to me that were just amazing, and I hope to be as great as these people who I've never met. There's one where they shot it with those little Roomba or whatever Roombas, vacuums, those little round
Is
discs.
that the one I saw that you forwarded?
Yes.
The link to? Oh, that was an amazing movie.
Amazing. So they just
story
talk about a
was
concept.
terrific.
So no dialogue, but completely told by a round disc vacuum. Robot vacuum. Told the story without any.
It was visual. It was truly a visual story.
A visual story, and it was hilarious. And it was funny, and it just stayed there, and it was amazing. And yes, so I think they won, and they should have won.
Yeah.
Because it was truly amazing. Just the fact that the story was told by this little round vacuum.
And you could clearly
vacuum.
tell what was going on. And kind of, that's the one where the robot's keeping the place clean.
Yeah, he's the housekeeper.
The housekeeper.
And then the burglar comes in, and he takes care of the burglar, and it's just hilarious because
takes care of means takes care of in a mafia sort of way.
In a mafia sort of way, which is hilarious because the little vacuum doesn't have arms.
Yeah.
So
he bagged him up in plastic bags. You saw him with the knives. I mean, it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Very well done.
And then at the very end of the film, to keep with the comedy, there was one little dust ball.
When the owner came back.
When the owner came back, and he was really angry at the vacuum.
That there was a dust.
That there was a dust ball. And it was funny. So it was amazing. So
that was
just
really
visually, the lighting, the shots, the music, the pacing, everything just told the story without one word.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was awesome. And
it was short too, right?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. 7 minutes. Was the limit.
And then there was another one that I really liked, and they did it again great. It was very visual. There was limited dialogue, but the dialogue was perfect. It made sense. Whatever the actors said, it was just...
What was that movie about?
It was about somebody living in somebody's closet.
Yes, I saw that one.
They didn't know that.
Yes, and that's the thing. When you got to be in a group of local filmmakers, because they send you links to cool things. I saw that because Eva sent me the link to it. That was a really good movie. That was one of my favorites.
Yes.
I thought that was really
It was
good.
amazing. So again, it's the shots, the lighting, the music.
She thought she was being haunted, and this was a short film. This woman's in her house thinking she's being haunted, or somebody's trying to break in, and it's really scary and suspenseful because we think as the audience someone's trying to break in and haunted. Anyway, so she's terrified, and I can't remember where she runs and hides, and then she hears like
She hides in the closet.
Hides in the closet. Here's criminals or something coming in the house, and she's petrified. And we're waiting for something to happen, and then she sees a shadow, and then it's gone. So we think it's a ghost, and then she gets the idea to go where the shadow went.
The noise.
Did she hear a noise? Okay.
Yeah, some audio. A tape player comes on.
I'm not sure there was any talking in that one either.
Yeah, she was. It was.
I'll talk on the phone when she called. She tried to call on the phone.
No, it was just more of her whole panic and fear.
Okay.
Yeah. Really well
done. And then
done.
she's trying to get the phone, and the plug's too far away. I mean, it was very, very well done.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it had a really terrific plot twist. She follows where the shadow went. She figures something went behind the wall, and she found that spot, and she went behind the wall, and there was like a homeless girl living in there, like a teenager. It was really kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, she got it. The teenager didn't realize she was home, and she was living inside the walls of this apartment building.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was really good.
It was really good.
And then there was, there's actually a few here in Denver that never judged, but we get to see that are also really cool at
Emerging Filmmakers Project in Denver.
So they just get to, which is awesome that there's that avenue that people get to see people's films.
Local films all the time.
And there's some really, really good ones there. So some of those are some of my favorites too. I never judged them.
Yeah.
But they were just shown and they were awesome. But when somebody did the Alice in Wonderland version of the Jabberwocky as a horror thing,
yes,
it was amazing. It was
I saw that one too. I don't know how I got the link, but I saw that one too.
It's a poem of the Jabberwocky, and so they took a poem and they created it into this short film, and just the costumes and the
cinematography,
and the audio,
and there was a lot of suspense in the scenes
for the Jabberwocky, because you never got to see it, but you knew it was
running
coming
through the woods and everything. It was really well done.
Really well done. And the freezing cold winter days as well. Not even on a nice day. It was done on a freezing cold day.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, so there's so you've got a poem that was created into a short, you've got a horror film that had very little audio, you've got a little robot vacuum, that's a comedy. Yeah. And it was great. I've seen animations. I forget about those. I do those. And
I judge those too. Yeah, because those end up being experimental.
And some like around the world that I've seen, like from India and stuff. They're just, they're just.
And I like looking at some of the international films too, because their storytelling is slightly different than Western storytelling. You don't know what you're going to see, so it's really interesting. That's pretty adventurous, and we see some good stuff from them too.
Well, and they just do a really good job of capturing the story they're trying to tell, and especially in such a different culture.
Yeah, and it's nice that they find even some of these festivals to, and get them here. And some of the filmmakers actually travel here to be part of the film festival, so you get to meet them.
Oh yeah, that's nice too. Some of the festivals, I haven't been a part of this, but some of the festivals have where you meet the filmmakers, or you actually can meet the judges and sit down with the judges.
Yes,
and ask the judges, why did you rate my film this way?
I saw a festival director a couple of nights ago, and he was talking about his festival that was a couple months ago, and that there's a checkbox that you can check if you want real honest feedback on your movie, because quite a few of them, if they just spent a little more time on them with some honest feedback, they could have something really good. And so he was going to email every one of them with the comments if they wanted them.
Yeah, and
a lot of them did wanted the comments.
They do, and they want to know, and that's good, because constructive criticism is not bad criticism at all to me. I mean, I want people when I write something and they say
your friends and your
didn't
mom
make any
are
sense.
Going to be nice, so don't listen to them.
Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to have that group of friends that when you read them your story, they can say it's good, but that doesn't make any sense to me, or you need to fix that, or that dialogue didn't work.
Like, I've seen that in a dozen movies.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
That is so cliche.
Yeah.
That is so boring. That is so stupid. Now I've already predicted your movie.
Yeah, we already know how your movie's going to go.
But no, it's good. And it's good when filmmakers want to know that, because there are festivals that do that. They'll email you the feedback, or they've had judges come in where people actually get to sit and talk to judges face to face and, you know, ask them all these questions. And to me, this year, there was some really, really, really good films. But I would say that the majority of some of the films just really lacked with the story.
Yeah, that's what
That was the big
this
thing.
year especially.
People were doing awesome with effects, special effects, green screen, audio. Like, people were really kind of stepping up their game on the technical part of it.
Because you can buy that equipment now it's affordable.
Right, or you just download the programs online.
Yeah.
And so people were really stepping up their game in that area, but it seems like stories were just getting lost. And the whole mission of the movie, just the story, the mission, or whatever you want to call it, was just not connecting.
Lost. Yeah.
And
which
it
is
was
a
just,
shame.
it was sad.
Yeah.
So, because it was like, wow, this looks great, but I want to, you know, this is just not making any sense.
Well, I have another topic here on here. When, as judges, we get to see what the director writes about himself or his movie. And do you have any tips on that? Because I have a couple of tips on that. Remember at the bottom, there's always a
there was a
director
bio.
statement.
There's always a bio
Yeah.
or something.
What do you think
on them.
about that? I was going to suggest, for example, I mean, it's okay to be fully yourself because that's, you know, we're artists and that's what we do. Okay. But I mean, kind of be sincere and genuine when you do that, and be able to answer some questions about how you got the idea or what your mission really is, and don't be cliche there. Because I just saw a lot this year where people were just writing down all these credentials and just kind of full of themselves, and then, you know, then I went and watched the movie and it's like, am I on the wrong page here? Anyway,
Yeah, sometimes it's
what do you think? Do you have some
No,
tips for that? I think be genuine would
I
be
think
my
it's
tip.
surprising. Yeah, the same thing, because I do like to read the bios on the directors.
I do. Well, I guess we're telling you that as judges, we do read those bios.
Yeah, I
so
do like to read them
put
because I
some
do
thought
like to
into
know.
it.
Oh, wow, a 13-year-old girl, especially
Yeah.
with filmmaker, the young student ones. You get to see, like, oh, she's 13, she's 15, she's 17, he's, 17, and go, wow, this is a great story for what they did, and it's their first film, or it's their third film. So that's pretty simple. Those guys are pretty simple. But when you get into the bios of the more, some of the people that have already been in the industry for a long time, they're not just doing filmmakers. They've shot commercials. They've shot, so they've worked. Yeah, they've worked in the industry in different areas, not just as a director, but that's why the camera work is so good, because that's what they did. But now they're directing this film.
We want to know that. And I won't hold it against anybody. Like if they write a ridiculous bio and and their movie's good or bad, I mean, I won't hold it against anyone, but I think it's better when I read a bio and it's really genuine about what they're working on and what they're doing, and
like more like who they are,
who they are,
just like all the commercials of the stuff that they've shot in LA or London or wherever. Because then it's awesome to have all those credentials at some point, but sometimes it is a little confusing when then you do watch the film, and like I said, their main focus might have been the lighting or the audio. Like, I don't personally know when they say they've done all this work. I don't know if they've been the director for all of it, because it's not
true. Well,
always stated.
Yeah, we don't know.
So when they're directing this or doing this,
but you do get a flavor for how much experience they've probably had.
Yeah, and you can see that in sometimes the production.
Absolutely.
Totally in the production. But then, again, like I said, it was kind of a sad year for stories. Just kind of...
This year was. That last festival, that was rough. We're okay on time here. So, now I had another one too. How about when people come to the festival, they should be prepared to answer some questions, because there's some pretty standard questions. As a director, when they get the director up there on stage, what do you think?
Well, I think all festivals are different. So
that's true.
I don't know. I know the emerging filmmakers.
Yeah, sometimes they do panels or get the...
Right, they usually always get, to me, they get the director up there to talk, which is awesome, because then you kind of get to see them, and people are awesome at that to ask questions. But for festivals,
like one of the other ones, some of the other ones that you go to.
I'm not sure if they
actually do that, or they just
actually do that. So I don't know. Like I said, just judging, I'm more behind the computer screen.
That's true.
I'm not necessarily always at the festivals.
Okay.
So I'm not entirely sure, but they might do that. They might have a Q&A thing if their director is there.
And I'm just thinking be able to answer some basic questions like, how you came up with your idea, how'd you get your actors.
Because we've gone to showings even, premieres, where it's not even a festival.
That's true.
So I
Movie
guess
premieres.
for filmmakers, just be prepared, because if you premiere your movie, sometimes they like to have you get up and have the whole audience
Just about
ask you
every
questions.
time they do that.
Yeah,
all
and
the
so
premieres I've
I mean,
seen.
I'm not like some festivals. They just show your film and that's it. They
Yeah.
don't really allow you that kind of time. So I think it might be just different across the board. But just be prepared.
That's true. Yeah, just be prepared.
Just be prepared.
I'm looking down my notes here. Some of the festivals, they're really worthwhile to enter because they give out prizes. Like one of the ones that you give out, that one of the festivals you judge, give out really expensive prizes.
Awesome prizes.
Thousands of dollars worth of either software
And then,
or
and then the
prizes
Oscars give you an Oscar.
So, or an Oscar. That's
Or an Oscar
That's
will
the
give
one
you
we're
an
planning
Oscar.
on attending soon. And
that's the biggest festival ever.
Yeah, it
is
is.
the Oscars.
Yeah.
So
and
if
you get a nice gift bag with
you
stuff
get
in
a
it,
super
too.
nice swag bag with that gold Oscar.
So it is worthwhile if you've got some good movies or you got some good ideas to make them and get them in some of these festivals, because you really can make it worth your while too. In addition to getting all the PR that we want as filmmakers, people to enjoy our movies.
Yeah, like I'm not sure what Sundance gives. I'm sure everybody has amazing, besides just saying, hey, Sundance,
Yes.
you were
Oh,
number
I'm
one
sure
at
they do.
Sundance for
There's a lot of-
the up and coming buzz trend, whatever. But it's just, every festival is different. Every prize is going to be different. But just getting your work out there, I think the majority of why people enter is just because they want people to see their work.
Yeah.
In different places.
And a lot of these festivals, some of the local ones, they just about sell out. So a lot of people are watching your movie.
Yeah.
And
so
that's fun. Now, Eva, do you have any last minute tips for people? Because we're going to wrap up here in a few minutes of how, as a judge, how to get a judge to notice your movie. I mean, we've talked about a lot of things. What would you say that just in your mind?
Just say keep it. They always say be original. So, and again, how can we be original at this point in life? Because it's so many things have been done before us. But there's always a way to make it yours.
Make it fresh.
Make it yours.
Yeah.
And so it's like, don't just, if you want to write something that's been done before, then make it stronger. Or if you're focused on a genre, a drama, comedy, dramedy, or thriller, or whatever, just really take it to that level, or really put a twist on it that's unexpected. I would just say, everyone wants to be true to their art, but just focus on the film as a whole, because it really is, every component, every piece makes it what it is, and not just focus on audio or cinematography or the story.
Yep.
So,
Well, Eva, thank you. This has been fun talking to you. You had a lot of great ideas for filmmakers to get into film festivals.
Thank you
and this
for
is
having me.
Eva Geisness, having judged close to 1,000 films for film festivals. So she's seen a lot of short films in a lot of different genres that you're not going to see at the AMC theater. So, which is fun.
which is good.
Yeah,
It's
which is
good because
So-
it's not, Hollywood's getting horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, there you go.
Hollywood's getting horrible.
So
well, thank you
it's
for having me.
Yes. And as she said that, I'm just thinking it's our responsibility as artists and filmmakers to provide really original, fresh content. And we can do that. So,
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming over here. It was nice talking to you. Bye.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.